Good afternoon all. In the series of lectures of regression analysis, topic first, multiple linear regression. Today let we see what is confidence interval, then confidence interval of beta j, then confidence interval of mean response and prediction interval. So since in regression analysis we can predict the future values of that is y. Okay, so we need to find the prediction interval also. You over here you observe that the confidence interval and prediction interval is wider than the confidence interval. Fine. So let we find confidence interval for beta j. To construct confidence interval estimates for the regression coefficient beta j, we assume that epsilon I, that is error, for it follows normal which is independent and identically distributed normal with mean 0 and variance sigma square for all I. Okay, and the value of beta hat, which is the estimated value of beta hat, is x dash x inverse x dash y, which follows normal beta with sigma square x dash x inverse. Okay, so for the specific value of beta, we have beta j hat follows normal beta j comma sigma square cjj, where cjj is the jth diagonal entry of x dash x inverse. So consequently, each statistic beta j hat minus beta j divided by square root of sigma hat square cjj follows t distribution with n minus k minus k n minus k minus 1 degrees of freedom, and j is equal to 0, 1, 2 up to so on k. Okay, so since there are p values, that means k plus 1, which is equal to p values are there. Okay, so where sigma hat square is estimate of error variance, sigma hat square is estimate of error variance, and hence sigma hat square is equal to RSS divided by n minus k plus 1, which is obviously mean RSS, that is MRSS. Fine. So 100% confidence interval for regression coefficient beta j, which is equal to j 0, 1, 2 up to k, is obtained by, we can take the probability as beta j hat minus beta j divided by square root of, that is this term. Okay, sigma hat square cjj. Since this follows the t n minus k plus 1, we have this value is less than or equal, this value is in between minus t alpha by 2 n minus k plus 1 to t alpha by 2 n minus k plus 1, that is positive and negative values of the distribution, is equal to 1 minus alpha. Okay, so now we can simplify the steps as we can take this denominator, so we multiply this term by the denominator. So what we get? So minus t alpha by 2 n minus k plus 1 square root of sigma hat square cjj, which is less than or equal to beta j hat minus beta j, which is less than or equal to t alpha by 2 n minus k plus 1 square root of sigma hat square cjj is equal to 1 minus alpha. Since we need to find the confidence interval for beta j, over here we need to find the we need to transfer this beta j hat also. So we have the term as probability of beta j hat minus t alpha by 2 n minus k plus 1 square root of sigma hat square cjj. This is less than or equal to beta j less than or equal to beta j hat plus t alpha by 2, and this term is there, that is equal to 1 minus alpha. So our confidence interval for beta j is beta j hat minus or minus plus t alpha by 2 comma n minus k plus 1 square root of sigma hat square cjj, where probability of modulus of t is less than or equal to t alpha by 2 is equal to 1 minus alpha. Okay, so that is my confidence interval for beta j. Okay, the quantity over here, the quantity which you consider, which is sigma hat square cjj, square root of sigma hat square cjj, this is, observe the quantity which is sigma hat square Cjj. So that is standard error of beta j hat, which is a sigma hat square Cj j, square root of, obvious. So it is a standard error of the regression coefficient beta j hat. So now next point is find the confidence interval for mean response. Okay, so our model becomes, let y is equal to x beta plus epsilon, as expectation of yi is equal to xi beta. So we can find the hat of this, that is expectation of yi hat is there, not expectation of hat. So expectation of yi hat is equal to xi prime beta hat. So variance of xi beta hat is xi prime, variance of beta hat and xi. So we know that variance of beta hat is sigma square x dash x inverse. Okay, so our variance becomes sigma square xi dash x inverse xi. Okay, so as xi prime beta hat follows a normal distribution with obvious mean is xi prime beta hat and variance is this, that is sigma square xi prime x dash x inverse xi. Okay, so now the value, that is for confidence interval we have xi prime beta hat minus, that is predicted value minus actual value, minus xi prime beta divided by the variance, that is sigma square sigma I prime x dash x sigma square xi prime x dash x inverse xi follows Tn minus k plus 1 degrees of freedom. Okay, then 1 minus alpha confidence interval for mean response xi prime beta is obtained as probability of, we can solve this as t is in between this quantity. Okay, so minus t n minus k minus 1 alpha by 2 up to t n minus k minus 1 alpha by 2. This is equal to 1 minus alpha. Now we can have the terms as, we can consider this instead of t and the probability is same. So we can take this denominator to, or we may multiply the probability to this denominator. So what we get, minus t n minus k minus 1 alpha by 2 square root of sigma square xi prime x dash x inverse xi. This is less than or equal to xi prime beta hat minus xi prime beta, which is less than or equal to t n minus k minus 1 alpha by 2 into obvious square root of variance is equal to 1 minus alpha. Now since we need to find the confidence interval from xi prime beta, the confidence interval, that is we can transfer this term, that is xi prime beta, to both the sides. Hence we get the confidence interval as xi prime beta hat plus or minus t n minus k minus 1 alpha by 2 square root of sigma square xi prime x inverse xi. So that is the confidence interval for mean response. Now let me find the prediction interval. So over here the prediction interval is, we know that a regression model can be used to predict future observations. Okay, just now I told you this, of y corresponding to given observations of regressor. Okay, so suppose x0 prime, which is equal to 1, x10, x20, xk0 is a specific vector of regressor vector. The predicted value of y0 is corresponding value of x0, which is y0 is equal to x0 prime beta. So expectation of y0 over here is x0 prime beta. Define psi, which is equal to y0 minus y0 hat, that is actual value minus predicted value. So expectation of psi is equal to now x0 prime beta minus x0 prime beta, so which is equal to 0. That is the mean of your psi, and the variance of psi is variance of y0 minus variance of y0 prime, which is a sigma square. So the value is sigma square plus sigma square x0 prime x dash x inverse x0. Okay, so that is equal to, now sigma square is common, so sigma square into bracket I plus sigma naught prime x dash x x0 prime x dash x inverse x0. So now we can have the term as a psi minus expected value of psi divided by square root of variance of psi, which follows Tn minus k minus 1. So T is equal to y naught minus y naught prime. We can put the values y naught minus y naught prime divided by square root of sigma hat square into bracket this value, that is I minus x naught prime x inverse x naught. Since over here expectation of psi is 0, this term is absent over here. Okay, follows Tn minus k minus 1 degrees of freedom. Now prediction interval for few observation y at x naught is obtained by T, which follows T is in between minus Tn minus k minus 1 and T alpha by 2 and Tn minus k minus 1 alpha by 2. This is equal to 1 minus alpha. Okay. Now the prediction interval, we can directly find the prediction interval as y naught hat. If you need, you may write in between steps also. So y naught hat minus plus sigma hat square into bracket 1 plus x naught prime x dash x inverse x naught Tn minus k minus 1 comma alpha by 2. That is the prediction interval for y naught. Over here prediction interval is wider than confidence interval. It is also based on normality assumption. Since we are considered as our observations are normally distributed, and hence only this prediction interval exists. Now goodness of fit and model adequacy. So in the goodness of fit we have validity of model. That means the model which we consider, is it a normally distributed or not, that can be tested in goodness of fit. Then we can fit the data, then we can, or we may fit the data, and we can check whether it follows all the assumptions, that is it is insensitive to the violation of assumption. That means we check whether all the assumptions are followed by the data. And in model adequacy checking, the major assumption that we have made thus far in our study of regression analysis are as follows. The relationship between response y and the regressor is linear, at least approximately. Okay, over here the relation between y and regressor must be linear, or it may be approximately linear. Okay, the error term epsilon has 0 mean. The error term epsilon has 0 mean as well as constant variance sigma square. Okay, the errors are uncorrelated, and the last one will be the errors are normally distributed. So that is my model adequacy checking. We need to check these many points in model adequacy. Thank you.